process of settling down, or do I have to come out there and whip you myself or something?
Your halo's slipping.
My halo's slipping. This, I'll have you know, is a new thing we've invented. It's called wearing your poetry. This version is a topless hat. It's my own invention. It lets you have the brim, but you don't need this bit. If you take it off, they're going to lovely, well, I've only got one example here, matching earrings, brooches, rather large rings, and if you see, it says, the splendour falls on castle walls, and you can drive the poem, and snowy summits old in story, the long light shakes across the lakes in the wild, and then you can use it as a boomerang thing we've got that comes back to you. Well, that didn't bloody work, huh? Now, I've forgotten who we have on tonight. I'll just cast a glance across the room and see. Oh God, I can't remember for the life of me. So what we do in that case, if we can't remember who we've ordered up, we go to the Bardi Arts calendar, as you can see, go to the appropriate, that's next month's. Go to this month's. Oh, that's me, yeah. And we find we have Steve Pope and Bethany Pottinger. Two very fine poets indeed. Oh, hold on, I seem to have misplaced their gender or cross-gendered them. All right, I think I got it now. Okay, so this is me flying, being Ariel. Come to me with a thought, your thoughts I cleave to. And we are conjuring up these very fine people, these mortals who work with words and create divine magic. They make words do anything they want. Talk, walk, you name it, they can do it. Once even, when our microphone broke down and we were panic-stricken and I was tearing my hair out like this, but Bethany said, stand aside. My mother taught us how to use our diaphragms when we were 3. And we thought, yeah, she can project. And she went, ah! And the glasses started shivering on the bar and said, Bethany, stop projecting. Oh God. I think that's rather unfair to her because she was in the middle of translating Beowulf. So she had that sort of Grendel's mother voice with her and everything. And I always remember her one-line synopsis of Beowulf. And she was translating at the time, and she said, I really whooped that mother. Which is basically, and she had Grendel's arm in her paw and everything. So, basically it was that. Right, I am going to start off, just to give you something to compare to. And the lovely thing, you're all able to say, well, I'm better than that Irish guy. Okay, he's got more hair than me, but I can write better poetry than him any day. Sacrificial victim. This is called Come Vienna, Vienna, which means, hey, if you know you're Italian, you've ever been at a restaurant in Positano or Praiano, and you dumb like me, you got no Italian, you say, pizza, this, that, you say to the waitress, you say, what does Come Vienna, Vienna mean? And of course it means a chef's surprise. What comes, comes. What you get, you get. Okay? And I was living in Italy for a month, and I've got no Italian, and I'm very bad at languages. I like sounds, I love sounds, but I'm very bad at languages. And I thought, I'll write me a poem in Italian. That'll teach me how to write Italian. And I struggled with it for a month with a trusty dictionary. I annoyed Jan and said, is this how you pronounce city? Città? Blah, blah, blah. And she got fed up and she said, oh, leave me alone and write it in English. So I wrote it in English as well. So I translated my own Italian. So this is called, it's a love poem to a place, to an area, to a town, to Praiano. And as for Paolo Sandulli, who is an artist, think Beryl Cook, translated into ceramic and statues and stuff like that. Mr. Sandulli lives in a Saracen tower overlooking the sea. That's his studio, that's his home, and it's a fantastic, delightful place altogether. All right, that was Sue walking by trying to distract me. She succeeded. And now I've totally lost it. Where was I? Oh, yes. Oh my God, I hope she doesn't do that again. That's good. Come Vienna, Vienna. What comes, comes. The sun is preaching her sermon to the town of Praiano that clings to the cliffs in wonder. Here in her hand of light and water, she tells the parable of pebbles. One wave waves to another as she walks upon the water. Bells undressed time, this rober of her hours. Lemons grow big-bellied on branches, pregnant with yellow. The juice of the future praying in a church of trees. Here a congregation of butterflies and bees. Grapes dream of being turned into wine. Figs ripen with pleasure. The gods of pagan times survive disguised as statues. I only believing in the religion of a woman's laughter. And even now, as darkness grows upon the rose, it's as if the sunlight never leaves, only changes colour. And the sunlight darkens only to blossom into the next morning in love with time. Thank you. We went to a writing workshop with Penny Shuttle, who happens to be one of my all-time favourite poets, and she's a lovely person, wonderful person, lovely soothing presence, and poems just pop out. And all she said for this was a hand. We're doing the body, and she said, imagine a hand making something. And so I got this. This is for my folks in America, Brian and Jennifer. This is their mother's mother. She's my granny. And Granny was almost blind, so she had a certain way of looking at you and seeing you. So this is called The Only Eden. Granny, unable to see, would build me touch by touch with her blind fingertips, search for the face she would create. Here my cheekbone coming into being, there an eyebrow newly born. Here an eye, there a philtrum, sculpted from sunlight, hewn from nothing. Here blind seeing, fashioning me anew, her fingertips butterflies, forming this living portrait of the face I own. Her fingers feeling for each nuance, each tone. The music of me plucked from thin air, one moment I am not, then I am all there. I made all the more real, more realer than I could ever be, emerging from her fingertips as if I were God's Adam, and this, her tiny garden, the only Eden. Thank you. I used to work in mental health, and lots of the voices, lots of your job was just listening to people, soaking them up through the process of osmosis, being with them. Other people didn't like doing that, they just stayed in the office. I was always out talking to them, listening to them. Just that voice. I always felt like, I don't know if you know the original Not I. So as well as the mouth, and the spotlight on the mouth and the lips, and Billy White would go, tiny little thing, turned out in the world, blah, 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 and everything like that. In the original production, as well as Billy's mouth, there was a cow figure at the side of the stage, and all he did was listen. And every so often when the pain got too much for the mouth, he'd raise his hands in compassion and then drop them again. So my position in mental health was a bit like that. I could only listen, take it in. All the voices stained me, stained my soul, and then I felt I owe them their voice back again. So this is a poor pathetic use of words trying to tell how this woman came to be with me, and I was looking after her. This is her story, her voice basically. It's called Lost Balloon. Crawling from the crash, I couldn't have died if I tried. I had a son to save, laughed, spat in death's face, pulled him from the flames. I forbade him to die, he disobeyed. The car exploded, burning the edges of the night. I survived without him, a death in itself. My reflection does all the talking, I just stare into the mirror. Christmas now, I feel like a lost balloon sticking to the ceiling. Thank you. Right, enough of me and more. We're about to start again. I shall kick us off with a little poem called Interview. I did not get the job, but the interview itself was quite daunting. I had been to a goth party in Highbury in an old church, and I got rid of my black lipstick, of course, But I think being a guy, I thought nail varnish would come off. I am stuck with black nails. I've got an interview the next day, and I go in, and I'm like this, and I'm like that, and I'm trying to hide these black nails and I talk like an Italian. So I go, well, you know, I like doing that. And she goes, oh, you got black nail varnish. And I go, ah, yes, I got black nail, sorry. Oh, oh, oh. And I tried to hide them like that. And she said, why have you got the black nail varnish? I said, that party last night. She said, I was at that party. I thought, that's cool. She said, like the nail varnish. I'd never seen a computer. I didn't see a computer until I was the same age as Christ died, which was 33. It was like saying, do you have your own lunar module capsule? I didn't. I didn't even know what a computer looked like. And the job depended on knowing what a computer is even. I didn't. During the interview, something else happened. This is what happened. It's called interview. Whoops. Wardrobe malfunction. She grins and oops, bears it again. God damn it, she hisses. It seems to have a life of its own. It sure is declaring its independence, I say. Your breast popping out keeps popping into my head. The escaping breast once again imprisoned in its bra. Its nipple now a hardened criminal. Nipples of the world, it declares. You have nothing to lose but your bras. Bethany W. That's how we test microphones back in Ireland. Bethany W. The W comes out clear. Did everyone hear the W?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.